Hello my dear students, today we are going to see certain topics in irrigation of water quality and wastewater management and unit 2. This part is being determined for irrigation's water quality. So what qualities are being essential? So water quality will be determined according to the purpose for which it is being used. Okay, irrigation water means mainly salinity, sodicity, and you know very well iron toxicity. So everyone know what is meant by salinity. What is sodicity means? It's actually the presence of sodium ions related to other cations. Okay, so these soils will be considered sodic when the amount of sodium impacts the soil structure. That is, we call it as sodicity. Okay, everyone will have actually they confuse the saline water and also sodic water. Actually, I have seen this. Many they get confused with this. Actually, there are certain differences. Okay, that is actually this will be regarding. What you can say is this will be regarding the salinity, but actually salinity you can't say it is always a sodicity differs from being salinity by specific to one salt, sodium, rather than a range of salts. That is very, very important. Okay, salinity means it includes a various of salts, but sodicity is actually regarding only one salt, this sodium. And next one, it will be actually sodicity is a measure of ions on clay surfaces rather than in the solution. Okay, sodium will be existing in both the soil solution and also on the clay surfaces. Okay, and saline soils will be often exhibiting white salt deposits or crust, whereas and these saline soils typically don't display poor soil structure and all. And they have adequate water infiltration rates, but the sodic soils will be having high amount of exchangeable sodium on the cation exchange site. So sodicity is very, very important. Okay, how we will be determining the various criteria that can be evaluated is salinity hazard, sodium hazard, salt index, alkalinity hazard, permeability hazard, specific ion toxicity hazards, everything. So this I told you, salinity hazard. This salinity hazard means what is the concentration of soluble salts in irrigation water. It can be classified into electrical conductivity. So it can be measured in terms of electrical conductivity, decimeter, -1, C1, C2, C3, C4. C1 and C2 is okay, very nice, but it's no problem. Okay, C3 and C4 they are not suitable for irrigation. Next one is sodium hazard. You know very well, high concentration of sodium are desirable. So what they do is actually the sodium will be adsorbed, okay, onto the soil cation exchange sites, and what will happen is the soil aggregates will be breaking down. That's called an opposite of flocculation. This will be breaking down, and what happens is it will be sealing the pores of the soil, and the water making it is impermeable to the water flow. So sodicity can be expressed by sodium absorption ratio adjusted SIR, sodium to calcium activity ratio, sodium ratio, and figure of Miller. So main you will be seeing. Okay, this United States Salinity Laboratory. So they have introduced this concept of sodium absorption ratio. So when it is actually, while you are taking this is the formula for the sodium absorption ratio. This is being calculated for this. Why we do is actually it is a measure of the amount of sodium related to calcium and magnesium in water extract from the saturated soil base. Okay, so this is why is actually SIR means, in the sense it indicates a possible sodium hazard. Okay, when the SIR is greater than 3 means the water is sodic only, that you have to consider. So sodium has also has been classified as S1, S2, S3 and S4 and all. Okay, so you can see this SIR means 0 to 10 means little or no hazard, and normally we won't go for SIR more than 3 and all. Okay, but we have classified as S2, S3 and S4, that you have to consider and to check in water level our soil is on. Next one is sodium to calcium activity ratio. So what it is actually, when this is very important means SCAR is actually an important water quality. So determine what it will be determining. So it is a group of water. It is actually will be calculating this SIR by SCAR ratio. Okay, so that quality SCAR air, water quality and all, everything you have to consider. This is also regarding the sodium levels only. Okay, so this everything else you have to water scarcity and everything else you have to take it upon. And low sodic water will be having less than 5, and also normal water 5 to 10. Low sodic city water is 10 to 20, medium 20. Then you have to consider what is the sodium solubility of a water. Next one is alkalinity hazards. Normally I'm going to talk about residual sodium carbonate mainly. Okay, so actually this is called as residual sodium carbonate. Means this is a common means of assessing the sodium permeability hazard. So it will also, we can also take into account the bicarbonate or calcium, calcium and magnesium concentrations in irrigation water. Actually, what happens is in many arid and semi-arid conditions and all, this water available will have this high residual sodium carbonate. Okay, so what happens is when you are using this again and again, there will be excessive accumulation of salts and all, and it will be leading to rapid salinization and solidification of the soil profile. Okay, so if the proportion is higher than the calcium ions, it is considered undesirable because they will be tending to form it as a scale on the soil. Okay, magnesium is very important, but that also you have to consider how is the magnesium content. If I have magnesium absorption by soils also, it will affect the physical properties. Okay, this harmful effect on the soil appears when calcium to magnesium ratio is below 50. Thank you.